I just wanted to know more about like the Orishas and how the process of the spiritual world connects with this world, because it's kind of hard to understand that through a book.
Okay. Um, all of the Orishas are essences from God. God, which we know and have a name for him, which is Olofi. Okay? Just like any other religion, they have a name for God. If you're Pentecostal, it's Jehovah. If you are Muslim, it's, Allah. All different religions have a way of dealing with the Supreme Being. Ours is Olofi. Okay, Olofi is the father of all of the Orishas. Okay? And basically, what they are and they represent is an essence of something that we use or are because of what needed to happen for the secrets of our religion to be able to live on. Okay? So, back in slave days, when slaves were brought here to the United States and to the New World, as it was
The
stated,
Caribbean.
yeah, um, many of the secrets of the Orishas, what the priest of those particular towns used to do was they used to swallow the secrets of the Orisha, okay? And then they were able to bring those particular secrets over here to the New World. The thing is that Africans weren't allowed to practice their religion here, okay? And because they were under slave masters, and many of the slave masters were of Christianity faith,
Mainly
okay?
Catholic in the
Mainly
Caribbean.
Catholicism, that is correct. What they did, which was very, very smart, is that they were able to look at certain saints that the Catholic Church paid homage to, and they were able to synchronize them with the Orisha themselves. So what they would have is that in their house, they would have, let's say, a nice little altar in their house with, let's say, a little picture or a little statue of the Virgin of Mercy, okay? And underneath that altar, they used to have the secrets of the Orisha, okay? So when the slave masters used to come in to see what nobody could see, so while they're paying homage, they thinking that they're paying homage to the Virgin of Mercy, when in reality, that particular saint is very much synchronized with an Orisha called Obatala.
Oh, I was wondering as I read like the history of Santeria and the New World. I'm like, okay, so it talks about it in rural, like the rural Caribbean, and how like a lot of the slave masters they were Catholic, quote unquote,
Correct.
but they didn't practice.
Correct.
And I was like, how does this now?
You understand?
Now
So,
makes sense.
for an example, another example would be that they would take and there was a nice little altar in someone's house with Saint Barbara. Very, very nice, very regal, red and white, with a nice sword or whatever the case might be. Well, underneath, they had the secrets of the Orisha called Chango. Why? Because red and white are his colors. The sword represents regality. The crown that Saint Barbara had on her head represents a king or a queen. Okay? So that's how they were able to save their religion, okay, and still be able to practice it without the slave masters knowing. And in my house, you might see a statue of, I don't know, Saint Michael. Okay? Now, Saint Michael was the archangel that was the overall archangel of things. He was the owner of all of the other archangels and was the one that led the angels into war on God's behalf if anything was to ever come. Saint Michael is the archangel, the saint by the Catholic denomination that is most synchronized with Ogun. Ogun is the owner of war. Do you understand? So you might go into my house, and you would, if you were to go into my house, you would see it. I actually do have an altar for Saint Michael in my house. Okay? I'm a very big devote of Saint Michael. I always have been. Again, remember I told you there's small little aspects of a particular Orisha that might be part of your life. I never knew until years later that that particular archangel was synchronized with this Orisha that eventually I wound up getting crowned with. Because I didn't. If I was to tell you that I did, I lied.
Yeah.
You understand? But I've always been a devote of his.
Okay.
Always.
Now, why do you see that a lot? It makes sense why you would have seen it in the early 20s in like Cuba and pre like Cuban Revolution. But why do you still see that today in America? Why do you still see, you know what I mean, like the saints, the Catholic saints sometimes are still at the home and not the original Orisha or the Orisha? You know what I mean?
Well, you would have the Orisha if the person is crowned inside of a home. But with that being said, even with that, we still have a very strong link to the Catholic denomination. It's still a very strong
So
link.
it's
Like me, I still go to Catholic church. You understand? I still might go every other Sunday or whatever the case might be. And, you know, I would still, you know, if I have a child, I would still baptize them. I would still do all of those particular sacraments. You understand? And it's fine for you to be able to do that. And again, the reason why is because we believe in an entity called Egun. And Egun encompasses and recognizes all religions around the world. We're the one religion that doesn't shun on any other religion. Because while I'm half Italian and half Puerto Rican, and maybe, you know, my family, both of them, they were all descendants and everybody always went to Catholic church.
Yeah.
Who knows if 300 years ago I had someone who was a imam in a mosque in somewhere in, I don't know, in
Middle East.
the Middle East somewhere. Okay? Or who knows, even before then, if I was to actually seriously go through my lineage line, if I don't have a Jew, you know, who was maybe a rabbi, you know, in my lineage line. So because we believe in Egun, and because we always pay homage to our ancestors, the people from our past, there's no way that we can shun on any religion.
Because you don't know. Because it only goes up to a certain generation that they're remembered.
Correct.
And you don't know set past a certain one, so that's why you can't shun.
That is correct. We're the only religion that does not shun on any other religion. We pay homage and respect to all. We don't sit there and say, your religion is bad. No. No. We pay homage to all of them because everything in our religion starts with an entity called Egun. Egun are our ancestral spirits, spirits that have lived with us, that have died and have passed on. And it doesn't matter how far back you go with that, okay? We pay homage to them first. We don't do anything in this religion, nothing, unless we pay homage to Egun first. No ceremony can be done unless we pay homage to Egun. And that's the reason why we pay homage to all denominations and all faiths.
And Egun is the...
Egun.
Egun?
Egun.
Egun? Okay. And now, what does he represent again?
Egun represents our ancestors.
Okay.
Egun
So he's the ancestor
Yeah,
of kind of the whole Santeria. He's
correct.
ancestral in
Right.
one.
And it's not so much a he, it's more spirit.
A spirit, okay.
It's more spirit, okay? Because, you know, if, God forbid, you know, in the day of tomorrow, I pass on, I wind up becoming part of what is known as Egun, okay? Because I am no longer here.
So it's an entire...
Correct. If that gentleman right there, God bless him, you know, he can live another 60 years, but if he should pass on, that's what he would become. He would become part of Egun. And then we, as me knowing him, okay, I would pay homage to him. And when I call upon Eguns, when I call and I'm actually doing that particular portion of the ceremony, I would acknowledge him. I have a godbrother, Ibaye, who passed away. Every single time I do my Egun, I always acknowledge him.
Because he's your ancestor.
Because he's part of my ancestors. You understand? You know? And the thing with us is that in this particular religion, we believe that we can be no one. You can't be who you are, he can't be who he is, and I can't be who I am without our ancestors. Because it was through our ancestors that we're able to walk on the ground that we walk on now. Think about it. When you take someone and someone passes away, they are buried into the ground. The ground is then covered with dirt. Eventually that dirt you can walk on. Understand? The symbolism of our ancestors is so important because we walk on their shoulders. Without them, we're nothing. So you always pay homage to them first.
And that's very, with studying the basis of African religion, that is very Africanistic theology. Like, that is the African theology.
It absolutely is.
So you see it played out at the root of Santeria.
Absolutely. It is the root of Santeria. Without that dirt, that tree couldn't grow.
Exactly.
You understand? So, you know, for us, Egun is everything, you know. And the essence of each one of the Orishas is different. It evolves different in every person's life. It also depends on the type of priest or priestess that you are, okay, and how you live your life, okay. The Orishas are It's just like your mom and your dad. If you're good, your mom or your dad, they're gonna reward you. They're gonna be there. They're gonna give you a big hug. They're gonna give you a kiss. They're gonna, they're gonna make sure that you're okay. But if you do something wrong, they're gonna punish you.
Oh yes.
So if I'm a child of Ogun, right, I have crowned Ogun, and if I'm doing the things that I need to do in my life correctly, in the right way, in my priesthood, making sure that I help the next person, making sure that this is done correctly, then of course Ogun is going to reward me for that. Okay. Now, if I decide that I just want to do my own thing, and I'm not going to listen to what Ogun tells me, I'm not going to follow the footsteps and things that I need to do in the priesthood, then eventually I'm going to wind up getting smacked in the hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And it's going to hurt. Just like when your parents will punish you, or if your parents one day decided to give you a little spanking on the butt cheeks. Okay. It hurts. You cry. You feel that. Okay? So it's the exact same thing with the Orishas. Okay? The Orishas are our parents. They're the ones that govern our life. It doesn't matter how old you are. Your mother's always going to have a say or an input in what it is that you do or don't do. You may not listen to her.